Bangladesh's interim government has sent an official letter to India seeking the extradition of deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina after a special tribunal sentenced her to death on charges of committing crimes against humanity. The 78-year-old leader, currently in India, was convicted in absentia by the International Crimes Tribunal on November 17. India has said it has noted the verdict and reiterated its commitment to peace and stability in Bangladesh. Hasina fled the country after Awami League government was toppled during a student-led uprising known as July Uprising on August 5 last year.
The charges against her during that period were that excessive force was used against the protests which were happening in Bangladesh in the month of June, July, and August. The protests were essentially against the reservations being granted to the sons and the progenies of the freedom fighters. While during these series of protests, this particular reservation clause was withdrawn and there were no reservations which were further extended. Yet the overall political environment had deteriorated to an extent that it became an anti-Hasina agitation.
Under the India-Bangladesh extradition treaty, both nations are required to hand over individuals who are charged with or convicted of offences carrying a punishment of at least 1 year in prison. The treaty allows extradition even if the offence was committed outside the requesting country, provided it is also punishable under the laws of the country receiving the request. Terror-related and violent crimes are explicitly excluded from being treated as political offences.
The extradition treaty essentially is meant as a reason because India-Bangladesh relations being so close and a number of criminals and the other antisocial elements, the miscreants were taking advantage of the and moving from one border to another. The aim was to sort of block their movement and to prevent them from taking advantage of the border and crossing over. That was the background of the India-Bangladesh extradition treaty. This treaty has got a clause that where there is something which is of a political character, the extradition can be refused by the other side.
However, the treaty also allows either country to reject an extradition request if it appears unjust, politically motivated, trivial, or made in bad faith. Extradition may also be refused in cases involving pure military offences or if the individual has already been tried for the same crime.